walking to go meet my mom.
J'aime sentir la musique. Je peux sentir le jazz.
I
Ça me fait
came back
quelque
to just
chose.
visit my family for
Et la
Eid.
musique classique, ça vous fait quelque chose?
Oh, pas tellement. La musique classique, c'est pour la tête un peu.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Rehana, or welcome back if you've been here before. I am currently in Jakarta, so this is not my normal setup. I came back to just visit my family for Eid. I actually surprised my parents. If you haven't seen that video, you can go check it out here. I'll put a little card. To visit my parents, spend Eid here, see some of my friends, and also start wedding planning, because we are finally starting to plan after getting engaged last summer. We're getting married hopefully in Feb next year. We don't have a date yet. Currently, we are still in the phase of choosing a venue. I think once the venue is chosen, then of course we'll have a date. We can start looking at the catering options, the decor options, the dress, and all of that. And of course, his outfit. Today I'm gonna try to visit three, my fingers won't go, and my friend Nandira, which is a friend that was in the same scholarship program as I was in the UK, and her husband will come with me because they've had a wedding before and they know what questions to ask. So yeah, today we're gonna try to visit three venues. The first one is called the Manor Andara, which is the most pricey of the three. It's this big kind of mansion or manor with a guest house and with a stable and with 2 gardens. So it's really beautiful from all the photos that I saw, and it fits the most people. And if you know Indonesian weddings, there's a lot of people. So my parents would like that, but it is the most expensive out of the three. The second one is called Cerita Rasa, which is just a restaurant, but it has like a glass house. I'm not quite sure about this one because it is in a restaurant, so I don't know how that would work. And then the third one is called Taman Kayu. It's spelled in the old Indonesian spelling, I'll put it here, which is just a simple building with glass windows and a big garden. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the manor first, and then my friends are gonna meet me there, and then we're gonna take their car to the other 2 spots. So let's go. So the first venue I viewed was Manor Andara. This is what you see when you drive in, this really big garden and massive house. And if you step into the house, you will find this big sort of ballroom where people usually do their ceremonies, and upstairs you will find 3 out of the 5 bridal suites. This is a really big plus for me because I can imagine the wedding day. I want somewhere nice to just get ready with my bridesmaids, with my mom and my sister and my cousins and everything. So this bridal suite was perfect. It's a bit old-fashioned in its interior, but I really don't mind that. It comes with a bed as well if I need a nap. There's also a groom suite and a crew suite as well, because we will of course on the day have wedding organizers there, photographers, videographers, so they will need a space to put their things to keep safe, and as well as a place to just put their feet up and rest. If we step outside behind the main manor, there's also this second building, a second garden, and a pool as well that you can decorate. And the building looks really beautiful from the inside. A big theme throughout the viewing was me and my friend Nadira saying like, okay, what do we do with this space if we take it? Like, there's just so much space here. So this is what they call the stable. Again, it's really big inside. I think this venue is really beautiful, but because of its sheer size, I don't think it fits with what we want. Indonesian weddings are traditionally very big because it's also your parents' event, not just yours. We're aiming for 300 to 350 people, and that is quite small according to Indonesian standards. This venue accommodates up to 1,000 people, which I think is a better fit for those traditional weddings, but I think if we did take it, we would have this whisper in our ear always telling us to just invite more people for the sake of filling the space, which then we would have to pay more for decor and catering, and also it kind of just lacks intimacy when it's too many people, which we really don't want. The second space was in a restaurant, so we of course had to have lunch first. This was unfortunately a very quick no for me because despite the glass house of course being beautiful, it was part of a restaurant setting. So I think this is more of just an event space, not really a wedding space. All of this space here would just be filled with normal restaurant guests, so they could just look into your event and everything. There was also quite a big walk that you had to make between the dressing room and the glass house, so I'd be like walking back and forth in front of other restaurant guests in my wedding dress, so that's kind of sounds like an anxiety fest to me. Also, this is the only dressing room that they could provide. It was small, could only fit maybe 3 or 4 people. This was the final venue of the day. It was a small kind of building here with amazing wooden beams, glass windows. This little spot could fit around 50 to 70 people, and then it leads out to this really cute garden outside. And they say it can fit 500 people, but it kind of looked like it would fit 200 to 300 comfortably, which was actually perfect for us. I think we could do a really nice garden party out here. And I saw a lot of examples of what people did with the space, with their decor and their layout. The only downside is that the price didn't include much. It only included the venue and then parking and security and whatnot. So it actually couldn't compete with everything else I was looking at. And to access the venue, you would have to drive through these little roads, which would be a headache for anyone on the day. It's not accessible with public transport either. Good morning. I am walking to go meet my mom. I decided to just walk as it's only 15 minutes away. We're gonna go view some more wedding venues. She hasn't come with me yet, so I'm very excited for that. And then I'm gonna work the rest of the day. So I start work at 2 p.m. because I work Dutch hours. Ooh. But yeah, it's still cool right now, so I can still walk. Otherwise, I would be dying and boiling. But it's still 10 a.m., so I'm all good.
Tapi kayaknya 200 kalau duduk ya, yang keluar-keluarnya bukannya sampai 500.
We didn't make an appointment.
Halo. Pagi. Iya, kalau ini yang rumah Maroko ya, Mbak. Rumah Maroko itu permanen. 22.
I actually didn't book any appointment with the marketing team here because I saw online that it was a bit too expensive for us. So to save myself the heartbreak, because I did fall in love with it from the photos I saw online, I just, forgot about it. But because we were in the neighborhood and as our last venue that we tried to visit was permanently closed, I was like, you know what, let's just go here. After waiting at the security desk for about 30 minutes, we were finally met with someone from the sales team, and she was really lovely and sweet. And I think it was really worth the wait because this space is so beautiful. All of these plants are real. And the view, I don't know what to say about the view. It's just amazing. It's right in the middle of Jakarta, so you really see almost a 360 view of it. It does wrap around half of the building, so it's like a letter C. And because I did study in the UK and I grew up in the US and Kevin is from the Netherlands, we would have a lot of our invites flying in. So we thought it was very important for them to see a really good version of Jakarta. We were planning to either have that in a form of an after party on a rooftop somewhere, or a dinner, or a welcome dinner. We weren't really sure. But if the main event already provides this view, I don't think we would need to even move anywhere else for an after party or a dinner. And it comes with this second sort of mezzanine floor, so you have extra space as well. And the capacity is quite perfect for us. It fits up to 300 people. Another pro about the space is that you get to rent it for 24 hours. That's already included in the package. A lot of the other places that I visited only provided rent for 6 hours or 8 hours, and then you would have to pay an additional fee per hour on top of that. It's quite funny as well because the price that put me off from even viewing the place, because I thought it was so expensive, actually includes so many things already. It includes catering, it includes videographers, photographers, wedding planners, wedding organizers for the day, a custom suit for Kevin, a bridal gown if I wanted to rent it through them. So it includes so many things, which actually made the price the most competitive and the most affordable amongst all of the options that I viewed. The only downside is that we really wanted to incorporate a lot of Minang elements because we are both not just proudly Indonesian, but proudly Minang. So we come from the same culture, same subculture actually. So we wanted to have traditional dances and performances in the wedding to kick it off. But we weren't really sure how that would fit and flow, I guess, with the layout being that letter C, because it is quite narrow. So if there were performances, we wouldn't know where to put people, But overall, I really love this venue. It was really beautiful with all of the plants and the greenery. The view is insane. I don't think we could beat that view anywhere else. And it ended up being a really good price. Parking and access to get there would be easy as well because it was in an office building right in the middle of Jakarta. In the same office complex, there's another building with an event space as well, so we got to view it while we were here. It was a much more quote-unquote regular layout in comparison with the previous one. It was a big square indoor area with different seating spots and this outdoor rooftop as well. Now, this one was on the 8th floor and the other one was on the 37th, so there wasn't much of a wow factor in terms of the views here. In fact, I didn't really enjoy the view here because you were so up close and personal with this one quite old looking apartment building. There's also this big basketball court here which would need to be fully covered up, and this much open space in February, which is rain season in Jakarta, is a bit concerning, so we would have to tent out a lot of the space. So covering up that floor and tenting it out would actually be another pretty big cost. This next venue is essentially a rich lady's backyard. She converted this into an event space in 2021 when a lot of people were looking for open air wedding venues due to all of the COVID restrictions. This venue consisted of this massive open garden and this small building here that we would normally use for the akad or the ceremony. It fits about 50 to 70 people comfortably seating, and just look at it. I love this space. It was in the style of a traditional Javanese building, and all of the wood that you see here is hand carved. It is insane how much detail there was here. I was obsessed with everything, especially the doors and this massive antique chandelier as well. I love the little pond with the fountain as well. I really could see a garden party setting here. You also would get access to the owner's home on the day, where you could use for a little headquarters for your family, as well as the dressing rooms for the bride and the groom. My mom is the one that actually found this venue online, and after the Rumah Maroko incident, I actually didn't have too many expectations going into this one, but it quickly became one of my favorites. The inside of the house itself is actually quite old-fashioned, but I didn't really mind too much of that. I just really loved the garden and the Javanese house. My mom also said that this was her favorite out of all the ones that we viewed. The only drawback is that the roads to access this were very small. It was in a residential area in South Jakarta, and the house did not offer any parking. So the owner suggested that we rent out a parking lot from an office building and then offer shuttles. So our guests would have to park at that parking lot and then take our shuttles back and forth. But this just already sounds like a logistical nightmare for me, as Indonesians are not known to be the most punctual. But also, what if someone had to go home early, or there was an emergency of some sort and people couldn't get to their cars easily? It would be a terrible experience for everyone, I think. Pelataran Kinandari mahal juga, itu bagus banget juga.
Kita dulu nginep di pelataran makan ya. Pelataran.
Venue number 2 for the day is called Rumah Sarwono. It advertised itself as an outdoor wedding space with a lot of Javanese elements. Now, while that is true, as you can see here as well, there's a lot of those same wooden carvings and the same style of the house, but there was also a lot of different elements that I just couldn't piece together. It was indeed Javanese, but it was also something else. There was this area and this aesthetic and that aesthetic. There was cactus, there was, all sorts of different things, but I just couldn't spot where the cohesion was in between all of those different elements and areas. The dressing rooms were also very small and quite dim, and I think by now you can tell that for me, a good dressing room is quite important. So yeah, the plus sides for this venue is that it's massive. You could fit up to 1,500 people. The garden area is beautiful. The individual elements are beautiful as well. And there is plenty of on-site parking. But for me personally, it didn't really ring any bells. This is the last venue that we viewed. It's actually my dream venue, but it would be pushing the budget just a little bit too much. Before I get into that, I think I just want to show you what the venue looks like. It is beautiful. When you step onto the grounds, you immediately see this glass A-frame house, and it leads down to this beautiful pool area, massive garden, with also, again, the Javanese joglos. This is called Pelataran Kinandari, and it's part of the Pelataran group, which has locations all throughout Indonesia, and they are all beautiful locations. I've had friends that had weddings in different Pelatarans, and they all have turned out amazingly beautiful. I can already see the floating flowers and candles in this pool. Oh my goodness. But anyways, you have the option to take half of the venue or the full venue, and half would fit up to 500 guests while the whole venue would fit up to 1,500. Obviously, in our case, we would only take 500 if we do take this. This building would be the limit if you took the 500 people package, and beyond that is this beautiful fountain area and another garden area as well. But that would only be usable if you took the full venue package for 1,500 people. Fun fact, the price on the brochure didn't even include tax yet, so it was more expensive than I thought. Hey there, back in the Netherlands. I'm shooting this intro here because I forgot to do one when I was in Jakarta. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching all the places that I viewed. I think I viewed 7 in total while I was there. We eventually did book one, so we've made the down payment on it, so it's finalized. And now we can move forward with planning the other parts of the wedding. We of course waited until I was back in the Netherlands and we properly discussed the options and let everything simmer first, so I could really take a step back from all the viewings that I made in Jakarta and kind of just let it all sink in, which one was the best for our budget and everything else as well. Of course, we know that weddings are expensive, and as much as we want this to be a special day, we also went into this agreeing that there's a lot of things to pay for after a wedding, like a life, a future together. So we want to have a beautiful wedding with the people that we love the most, but also keep in mind that it's just one day. So with that being said, I'm curious to know, which one do you think we chose and which one do you like the most? If you could leave that in the comments, that would be really fun for me to read. But anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far as well, thank you. It means a lot to me. If you could comment what are we commenting today? If you could comment the engagement ring emoji, because it's a wedding planning video, that would be really cool. Leave that in the comments below if you've made it this far. And thank you, I'll see you on my next one.